Go. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mastermind, Body, and Spirit Show. I'm your host, Matt Belair. Today's guest is a best-selling author of the Green Foods Bible, wellness expert, whole foods nutrition advocate, environmentalist, disease prevention activist, and a true innovator. He has dedicated his life to providing whole, raw, green food products to the world and educating the masses about the importance of nutrition. He's invited people into his home to personally help them get healthy, lose weight, or achieve their goals. And through his mentorship program, he has inspired all kinds of people, including celebrities, to get out into the world and make a difference. Additionally, he is the proud recipient of the Best of Hollywood Community Inspiration Award. A notable past recipient of the same award is U.S. President Jimmy Carter. He continues to research and share his findings at guest lectures and the Dave Sandoval Academy of Learning. His recently developed Biome Medic takes his prior research to the next level, this time in the fight against Glysophate. Welcome to the show, Dave Sandoval. What's up, brother? You're on mute again. You muted yourself.
There we go. Let's try this.
There we go.
Aloha from Hawaii, I tried to say.
Welcome, man. It's good to finally connect. I've heard so many amazing things about you, and it's interesting. The second that I'd come back from Burning Man, and I really knew one of the lessons that I had was to upgrade my food. I had been doing better, and that was the intention that I set. And actually, you came into my radar 4 different ways. So I'm excited to ground this out and learn more about you and your work.
Well, yeah, you must be hanging out with some pretty cool people, because I find that high-level energy food attracts high-level energy people. Not that they're better or worse people, not good and bad people. That's not what I mean. But when you understand that every plant, like, literally has its own vibration, like a key on a piano, and that if you hit the right notes, that you could just play beautiful music at the cellular level. And so the people that you meet, I bet when you met them, their eyes were bright, their skin was clear, their spirit was like full of love energy. And that actually is a process of them wanting that, seeking it out, and then bringing it into their body in a process of enlightenment that is actually physiological.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's interesting. I find that too, going to festivals are people who are basically living a very healthy lifestyle. You can really see it in the eyes, I find. And for me, the opposite is pretty obvious. When you maybe drink too much or you're super depressed, you hate life, you really, it's a lower energy, and it's definitely something that can be felt. So I know you've done a lot of things. Do you want to give people like a very brief background and then just dive into whatever you feel would be most beneficial in the time that we have?
So I guess all I could tell you is I'm a real innovator. Everybody knows about coconut oil. I was the first person to re-import coconut oil and sell it as a health food 25 years ago. Chia seeds were not sold as food. They were only sold as things you put on pets and made them look like hair. I had it transferred to food. Raw food was not a thing. Raw food was illegal. And I made raw food legal by proving that only pathogenic bacteria should be screened, not all bacteria. So they stopped irradiating food and pasteurizing all of the nutritional supplements. Organic standards didn't exist until we fought through them, through Oregon Tilt and the Organic Crop Improvement Association, which became the USDA. Kamut, a grain that was found in an ancient Egyptian tomb, we reintroduced it to the world, and now everybody around the world is eating kamut, the most least allergenic grain on the planet. I could talk more about things like that, but what I want you to know is that I'm a person who looks to ancient history and looks to modern science and tries to identify problems, but more importantly, then to come up with solutions. I'm a solution-based person, and I saw suffering happening in the world. I saw very few solutions, and I decided that my life's dedication had to be not playing volleyball or surfing or going to Burning Man, which I love to do all of those things, but instead, like, literally fighting every single day like a warrior, going to Standing Rock, and defending indigenous peoples, and upholding, really deep support for battered women's and children's shelters, long before it was cool to do so, for years and years and years now, fighting before Me Too was a thing. We identified that the subjugation, the objectification, the sexualization of women was a disease on society, and we sought to fight against that. And so this is just who we are. We are agents of change in the world, and we boldly say that that's why we're here. We are here to love you. We're here to help you. We're here to change the world, and it's just that simple.
Man, that is a very beautiful statement. I can relate in the way that I snowboarded in Whistler for 8 years and loved it, and was a mountain person, and it was just, pure bliss every day in nature. And then it got to a point where I always wanted to be of service. But then my education, I think grounding myself as an adult and learning, I was like, okay, how do I, share what I've learned and now know and make the planet a better place? And that became my priority over the snowboarding and things like that. So I appreciate your commitment and what you're doing. It's a super beautiful mission. So, okay. So with this, I know we could dive deep into a lot of different things. Like if you look at food, which I've done, maybe not as in depth as others, but you find a lot of problems. Like you said, the problems are numerous. And when you see a problem, you need to build a solution, and that's what you're building. And so many people don't really know how to eat for nutrition. They don't know how to eat for health. So if you were to just kind of break it down in like a summary for your most important things, and maybe what you need to cut out or what you need to add to start to have a more nutritious diet, because it affects the brain, it affects energy, it affects everything.
Definitely. Well, first of all, I want to tell you that success in life is the same no matter what you do. Life is a set of rules that when you apply across the spectrum, they apply everywhere. And one of the key rules of success is you spend 80% of your time on the 2 to 3 most important things in your life. And if you spend 80% of your time on the 2 to 3 most important things in your life, then those things evolve. They change. And then there becomes a new 2 to 3 most important things in your life, because you have accomplished the first 2 to 3 most important things. But if you make 100 things important, you will accomplish nothing. So the first thing is focus on what's most important. And what's most important, according to Ann Wigmore, one of my mentors, is that you could be a great healer if you simply nourish and detoxify. When you nourish the body and provide it what it needs at the cellular level, and when you eliminate those things that the body does not need at the cellular level, nourish and detoxify, then you become a great healer. So each of us, everybody listening today, does not need to know a guru ever. They simply need to know that they should nourish and detoxify. Okay? And I have tried to provide people access to the absolutely most dramatically effective access to nourishment and detoxification at the highest level, from plants, organic, looking for in the world today, is what we're providing.
Sounds pretty amazing. I'm open to that. I think that a lot of the foods that we eat naturally are toxic, and a lot of people are just not aware of, whether it's alkaline, toxic, good for you, or bad for you. So if somebody is looking to just create a change, you're like, okay, cool, I'm with you. What do I do? Even for me looking at this, sometimes, I know I have a few meals that I make that I know are my highest vibe meals. Then I got a little bit distracted. Then I look at apps for like vegan, high vibe stuff, supplements. Smoothies are like my savior a lot of the time when I don't know what I'm doing. Can you recommend just something for a starter that would be easy? Or if you have any like the magical things like you add into everything?
So I've got like a couple of things that are just phenomenal that if you give me a moment, I'd like to share with you. I mean, it's sort of like I've got 2 things that I'm super, super excited about because I identified a massive problem in the world, and it kept me up at night. It kept me up at night. It scared me. It pissed me off. And I just was not going to rest and let the dark win. Okay. I just can't do that. You know, if we're the light, we've got to shine. We can't be afraid of the darkness. We can't believe that there's no hope. You know what I mean? And so first, when there's a problem, you try to block it. Try to block it. Just don't let it happen. If we fail to do that, we try to suppress it. Don't let it hurt us too much, right? And if we can't suppress it, then we have to repair the damage that's done afterwards. Well, we have tried to block a giant problem in the world called chemical toxicity, specifically in our food, specifically from Roundup or glyphosate, that has been like banned by the city of LA, called a cancer-causing agent by the state of California, deemed to be a health hazard by the World Health Organization, and the National Academy of Sciences just exposed it as being something that the whole world needs to wake up and pay attention to right now, or there's going to be massive, massive problems in the very near future. And so some people believe, and it's yet to be proven, but enough people believe, and that this could be a contributing factor to everything from autism to Alzheimer's. But we know for sure that it causes leaky gut. We know for sure it causes a compromised gut, and that gut is key to our health, where our immune system and where our mood system, people don't know, but your mood comes from the serotonin that's produced in your gut. And when this chemical destroys our gut, our immune system and our mood system are destroyed. And we fall into depression, obesity, and illness. And this is a massive problem. So we tried to block them from being able to sell it. We tried to make them label any food that has it, and we failed to block it. So we tried to suppress it by eating organic and not going around things that might have glyphosate, but you just can't do that. Like you said, there's the good meals, and then there's the other ones, and we all do that. You're not the only one. Everybody has both sides of the coin. And on one side of the coin is a toxic chemical, and none of us could avoid it. So the third thing we had to do is repair it. Well, studies show that we as Americans are intensely affected by this, that it's found in the fluid of babies, in the breast milk of mothers. It's found in the fat of grown men. It's found in everybody, everywhere, and it's got to be eliminated, or it's going to continue to affect us. So I created a series of hypotheses. I combined a unique combination of ingredients. I reached back in history to an ingredient created by a Nobel Prize winner. And I reached into modern science, and I combined these four ingredients, and together we're able to chelate out, to lift, to purge, to eliminate 75% or 74% of this toxic chemical from your body in only 6 weeks. And the people who have begun this detoxification process have found that innumerous symptomology that they were suffering from was just peeling away, melting away. And miracle stories from mothers with children in the spectrum, miracle stories from people with health challenges. And so I'm super excited because I spent $100,000 doing a double-blind, placebo-controlled preclinical trial, which I've never done before. I don't have the money to do that, but I did it. I scraped together the funds. I begged, borrowed, and I stole. And I had this tested because I knew the world needed to have it proven to them. So I now have a clinically proven preclinical trial, but a clinically proven ingredient, a clinically proven product that mitigates potentially the biggest problem facing the world today. And I'm super excited, not because I have a product to sell. Believe me, that's not the point here. The point here is I found a solution, and I'm making it available to a world that desperately needs it. And so, do you have any questions about this? It's called Biome Medic because it's like a doctor that repairs your gut biome.
Amazing. No, I don't have any questions. I want you to go on. I'm sold, man. I want it. Well, what I would say, just from my own experience, is when I've done either fasting or amazingly clean diets, the way that I think and the way that I feel is so elevated. And I know when I come down, they talk about brain fog, but most people never get out to realize there's a difference.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge difference.
So here's what I've done for like almost 10 years is I used to work with, and God, I don't like to talk about myself. It's like the last thing I want to do, because I want people to focus on the information, you know what I mean? And not me. But I just want to say that people, billionaires, A-list celebrities, even royalty, royal families, the type that wear crowns, you know what I mean? They have come to me for advice, because the other advice that they just can't get the truth that they could find with me. I did radio in New York and had a top-rated radio show. I've traveled all around the world, and the things that I know, the secrets, the things that I've revealed are extremely helpful in people's lives. So I decided to take these secrets that I had used, only with people who are willing to do whatever I told them to do. You know what I mean? People who I just put my thumb down and said, this is what you're going to do for the next 10, 20, 30 days. And they had to do it because they paid me a lot of money. Why should they ignore me? You know what I mean? Well, I took the same secrets that I've been using with them and I made them available to the general population. And it's called a 10-day transformation, because most of the people that came to me had 10 days to get ready for a prize fight, or for the Golden Globes, or for an audition, or maybe for their wedding. Or, it could have been, you know what I mean? But they never gave me much time. So I had to figure out how to metabolically and physiologically dramatically impact their bodies in 10 days. And we called it, and we don't call it that way anymore. It used to be called Dave Sandoval Celebrity Transformation. That's what they called it in Hollywood. And the reason why I won that Hollywood Fame Award wasn't because I'm a film actor, musician or entertainer, because that's what the Fame Award stands for. It's because of the work that I did inspiring them to be good people. You see what I mean? And that's way more important than to be a star, than to be somebody who made stars healthier and better and worked at charities and fought for causes. That's an award I gladly accept. You know what I mean? I don't want to be acknowledged for something that's really cool but doesn't change humanity. So again, this thing is called a 10-day transformation, and the people who do it in 10 days, it's like fasting, but instead of fasting, I saturate your body with the most potent superfoods on the planet, but under 1,000 calories a day. So you're having closer to 600 calories a day, but those calories are so packed with massive amount of nutrients that your cells just start to vibrate. I mean, literally vibrate, like they could raise off the floor. If you know about some of these philosophies about how levitation happens of rocks and moving of objects, and it's that vibration. You know what I mean? Well, your cells have a vibration too, and you literally feel like you're walking on air. By day 7, you feel like you're levitating. I'm serious. It's amazing. And you're talking to spirit, and you're forgiving people because you have no room in your life for negativity anymore, because you see enlightenment. You're taking enlightenment into your body every 2 hours on this program for 10 days. But it's only 600 calories to 1,000 calories a day. And at the end, people are like, oh my God. And they want to tell the whole world about it. And that's how you heard, because you talked to somebody who did a 10-day transformation.
That's amazing, man. Well, the first thing I'd like to say is that when I heard about you, I really loved your philosophy, and you're this similar to me, where you have this solution, and it's about the solution. So, when I did Zen Athlete, the solution is teaching kids how to master themselves through sport. And if a pro athlete understands this and they have kids, they'll understand what the message is. And it's about making an impact in the world with a solution, and people need to have the solution so they can have an experience. And so I really appreciate your work and your philosophy to bring such a potent solution to the world and do it so selflessly. So I appreciate that. I know that we're limited on time, unfortunately, and we just discussed before this on all of the incredible rabbit holes we could go down, and we're going to go down them in depth and in detail soon. What do you want to leave the listeners with before you jump on the plane? Because even in this short one, I love your passion and enthusiasm and knowing, it comes from like your gut. You're out there doing it so just so committed, and I love it. And then, the knowing comes from the gut, and the things that I know come from experience and the service level of if the information is applied, you can experience a dramatic result.
Well, I've got 3 really powerful messages that resonate within me. Whether they're going to resonate with your audience, I'm not sure. But one of them is I like to create, I believe the greatest freedom we can have is financial freedom. And that when we're not tied to a job or even tied to being indentured to, let's say, a spouse that makes all the money, and then we have to do whatever they say because they have the checkbook, you know what I mean? I think financial freedom is one of the greatest freedoms you can have, but it's not greater than freedom from disease. And so what I tried to do is I tried to find a new economy, and this is really important to me, a new economy where doing the right thing actually is how you pay your bills. Imagine if all commerce was driven by making the world a better place, if the only way you could make money is if you help somebody or help the planet. And so when people say, oh, well, you've got all these awesome products, but you're trying to make a profit, so you're not pure, you're not, you know what I mean, you're not truly and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to create an environment where people could work from their home, work for their phone, be with their kids, and in the meantime share this organic, pure food that they would otherwise not have access to at prices that are amazingly affordable. And I need help doing that. And so I unabashedly tell you that I'm here to create a new economy where I'm looking for people to help me help people. Because if we can't do that, and the reason why Matt's on the phone today with me is because I said, would you help me educate people about these answers? Without people knowing that we've got solutions, the solutions are trees in a forest that fall and are never heard. And people will suffer for lack of knowledge. And Matt agreed, he's like, bro, I hear you. I see your passion. I want to be part of this message getting out there. And so I just want to say, man, that if you want to connect with anything that I'm talking about, the things that we do as a company, when you invest in me by believing in me and trying my products, we just got 200 farmers in Thailand to grow organic instead of GMO because we created a fair trade co-op for them so that we could get ingredients from them. We support orphanages that help girls get out of the sex trade. We support battered women and children's shelters. The things that we do with our money, we just created a plastic alternative made out of bamboo and hemp. We're running these clinical trials so we could prove that what we're doing, this is how I want you to invest your dollars, because when you invest your dollars, you're voting. You're voting for something that you want to get bigger, that you want to impact the world in the future. And so I've been criticized recently because I have a company that sells products, and I'm so confused because I can't give them away, and people really need them. And so, I'm not saying I'm Mother Teresa or Gandhi, you know what I mean? But I'm trying to change the world in a big way. And it's costing me millions of dollars to do that. And unless people connect with me and help me help them, then we can't build this new economy. So I guess all I'm saying is, jump in. If you believe what we're talking about, jump in here and try these products. I've got a 60-day money-back guarantee on anything I offer. And within 10 days, you'll know that this is the best decision you ever made. And so I used to be really shy about asking people to buy products. I just wanted to educate, formulate. Now I realize that people need to know that this is what we do. It's the new economy. And so I feel like I'm almost coming out of the closet and saying I'm not ashamed to say that I'm making money doing the right thing, even though I haven't made a dime. I'm not ashamed to say that, yes, we have a business that's about saving the world. And I think that should be the model for everything. When we can make a living while making a difference, the world's going to get better. I hope I haven't rambled too much. I hope it makes some sense.
Oh, no, beautiful, brother, man. It's the same as me, like even with doing Zen Athlete and the podcast and like where I've dedicated the last few years to this, 60 hours a week doing different things, and like basically took a huge loan so I could do it because it's my highest service, and super resistant to wanting to receive, like give, but receiving what feels off. And, synchronistically enough, I just watched some Wayne Dyer talks yesterday in his movie, The Shift, and he spoke about living in abundance and just allowing that to be there as we serve. And the more money someone like I get, someone like you gets, like someone who has is conscious of the world, we can make a bigger impact. And it's like energy tokens to making a change to do these things. And so, I wish you all of the success. And I really hope that the scale of money starts to go towards people who have a vision of serving and supporting. And so, I hope that you open up your energy and your heart, to receiving all the abundance you deserve for all the work that you've done and creating a solution. And if the solution doesn't work, here's your money back. Didn't work. Is like, nah, it works. It's like, if you come do Zen Athlete, you want to be a better athlete, pay me whatever. I guarantee it's going to work. I know it. So
I did something crazy though, because that sort of guilt about asking people to buy something from me. So I came up with a pay it forward model where I'm actually willing to let somebody get their first $50 worth of product from me for free. And I don't know any company that's ever done that before. And so I know maybe once I drop off, you could maybe share with them how that works, because I think but like I'm serious. Like, you could go to our website, and as long as you have a discount code, you could take $50 off your first order, and that means you could literally be using this product for free for a month. You know what I mean? And that's just my promise to you, is that I want to meet you halfway. Literally by giving you $50 worth of this product for free, so that you know that my heart's in the right place, that I'm not looking to make a dime off of you, off of that first time. It's only if you believe in it and you come back a second time, that's when we might be able to say, okay, now you're supporting the cause. Now we're pushing that message forward by supporting a conscious industry. And when we learn to support conscious industries, McDonald's stops growing and organic farmers start growing. Just think about that for a second. When we start to make conscious buying decisions, McDonald's stops growing and organic farmers get to keep growing. And that's all I'm asking today,
Yep. I hear you, man. I hear you. You're definitely a man of my own heart. Everything that I heard before we met, and even just the brief conversation. So, I'm excited to learn more and go in depth, because this is one field of your expertise, and you've been doing it a while. And like I said, I wish you nothing but success and abundance, and for people to try those things, because it's the same experience I had with Zen Athlete. How do I charge? Do I give it away for free? Just learn this, learn meditation, learn visualization, learn self-hypnosis. It works. Just do it. So yeah, man, we're so similar in a lot of ways. Is there anything else you want to leave them with before you bounce off? Oh, you might've cut out for a second if you're speaking. Shoot. See if you come back on. Come on, internet. Oh, there you go. You're back. Kind of. There's a ceiling.
All right.
There we go. Yeah, I was just asking if there's anything you wanted to leave everyone with before you jump on a plane.
Well, the last thought is I'm working on something called the Human Sovereignty Project. And in this, I'm working on a project where it's called a life pod, where 4 people would have all the energy, all the water, and all the food that they would need, as well as protection from the elements for a lifetime, with a small one-time investment of about $500 per person. And I'm serious. That's free water, free energy, not free, you have to work a little bit for it, but water, energy, food, shelter, total independence from the grid, from government, from large corporations, from people who want to sell you your livelihood. That if you need energy, you owe it to them. If you want water, you owe it to them. If you want food, you owe it to them. Every time you want something that makes you stay alive, you shouldn't have to pay somebody for it. So even though I'm selling the highest level food on the planet, my goal is to make everybody completely independent, totally sovereign from having to receive anything ever other than sunlight and love.
Yes, please. Yeah. Well, man, any way that I can support you, that's such a beautiful mission, and I really want to dive deeper in that. So when we jump on the call, we'll do it again. But I just want to.
I'm going to get you up to my 160 acre nature retreat. 100 mineral springs coming out of the ground. As long as you're okay with a composting toilet, we'll be all right.
Bro, I am there, and I will just stay. You'll have basically like a miniature Bigfoot roaming your lands for a long period of time. Then eventually, if it's too long, there'll be like a little skateboard park being built somewhere in my own town.
We totally could make that happen, bro. I love who you are. I've heard all about, like, you are a high level thinker. You are a light worker, and it's just so amazing to be aligned with you, bro. Let's do this thing.
Yes, brother. It's so nice to meet you. I agree. I love you, man. Take care. Have a great day.
Peace. Shaka.
Peace.